Hello everyone, and welcome once again to GSN Spectrum Broadcasting's continuing coverage of the Murray Cup race. The MCR, or the Cup as it is more commonly known, is one of the finest sporting events in the UEE. Nearly 100 racers compete in the Classic Division's grueling 10-stage run, which winds its way through Ellis System's many wondrous planets and dual asteroid belts. Racers compete to determine who's the fastest and strongest as they struggle to maintain the integrity of their racecraft amid some of the deadliest conditions in the Empire. This year's competition promises to be one of the toughest, as the top 25 share in a meet and greet with media and sponsors in GSN's sports atrium in orbit above green. Though many come to race, only a few are considered real contenders, and those contenders are now awaiting their chance for glory and honour. This year's darling is Yokondi Remisk, a human who surprised everyone by winning both the Goss Invitational and the Cassini 500. He comes into the MCR with a real chance to be the first racer to win the Triple Crown in 12 years. Then there is Nyanel Motak Zuoa, the finest Xi'an racer in the history of the sport. If he prevails, he will be the first to ever win 3 MCRs in a row. Zogat Ghul, the old Tavaran warhorse, can't be counted out either. This legend has won the MCR more than anyone else in its history, but fate and bad luck have prevented him from winning a major event in over 5 years. His second-place finish at the Cassini 500, however, has brought his name back to prominence. Can he win it once more before he fades away? And finally, newcomer Hypatia Daring has turned heads by taking the pole position away from Remisk. She has never won a major racing event in her short career, but her consistent top 10 showings for the last 2 years indicate that her pole position is no fluke. Can this youngster handle the enormous pressure placed upon her? Only time will tell. Let's throw it back to GSN reporter Mike Crenshaw, who is making his way through the reception as we speak. Who do you have for us now, Mike? Hypatia Daring didn't even notice the reporter's question as she stared across the busy reception floor. The Tavaran looked lean and elegant amid a gaggle of reporters who crowded around him. Part of her felt like joining the crowd. I should feel the need to whip his ass, to blow past him on the final stage, to force his ship into an asteroid. That would be the feelings of a great racer, a great competitor, one focused and ready to win. But no. Try as she might, she could not feel that way towards this legend who stood only a few meters away. Much to her sorrow, she hadn't had a chance to speak with him when their paths could have crossed at Cassini. Now she had to find the time. She fought the urge to walk across the room, push past the media hounds, invite him to dinner, and ask him to sign the worn, faded, dog-eared poster of him in his youth, standing proudly next to his silver M50, still hanging on her hab wall. She shook her head and blinked. I'm sorry, say again? Mike Crenshaw cleared his throat. Do you think Admiral Daring is proud of his daughter? Daring clenched her teeth and forced a smile. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? He has stated publicly, more than once, that he believes you are wasting your talents as a racer, that you should drop all this nonsense, his word, and pursue a more fitting career in the UEE Navy. My father has never been one to restrain his opinions, she said, taking tentative steps towards Ghul. But if you really want to know the answer to that question, you should ask him yourself. Another reporter fought her way in. Alice Franiff, Terra Gazette, taking the pole position from Yokondi Remisk was a marvellous achievement. How did you do it? Her smile was genuine. Luck. Oh, come now, Hypatia, Crenshaw said, regaining the floor. Achieving a time 1.5 seconds off the record is hardly luck. How'd you do it? She chuckled. Patience, dedication, focus, and an acute attention to detail. That, plus the fastest damn M50 on the circuit. All things I'm sure my father would appreciate. The reporters laughed and hastily transcribed notes. Daring made a few more steps towards Ghul. Miss Daring, another reporter interceded. How do you intend on maintaining your luck, as you put it, through the entire race? 10 stages, all timed, many with narrow, dangerous channels, especially through the asteroid belts. You'll be racing neck and neck with some of the finest racers in history. Being a relative newcomer, how do you intend on handling the pressure, maintaining your good start, and ultimately winning the cup. She's a natural. All turned, including Daring, and found Motak Zuar, the Xian, dressed in a bright purple jumpsuit, standing among a pool of sycophants who followed him to every event. Some of them were ex-GSN reporters, now under full employment by the Zhuoa House, captured by his fame, notoriety, and wealth. Daring controlled her scowl as the stout Xian stopped a few feet from her. "She's a natural," Motak repeated, to make sure the reporters could record his reply. He was shorter than Daring by a centimetre or two, which was still unusually tall for his race, but his cool, amber eyes scanned her face carefully. His powerful jaw muscles pulled back in a tight approximation of a smile. "She'll win it by being the best racer on the circuit." "Do you really believe that?" Crenshaw asked. "She's the best?" Motak nodded slowly, diplomatically, his eyes affixed on Daring. "I wouldn't have said it if I didn't," he blinked. "How are you, my dear? Rested from your trials at Cassini?" "Rested enough," she replied beneath her breath. The reporters leaned in to hear, but you should know all about that. Motak waved her off as if she were his lesser. "The dangers of the trade, my dear. I did what I had to do to gain advantage." Daring nodded. "But you didn't win, did you? Cutting me off in a move that, technically, was illegal, only gave you third place." "Still, a better finish than you," Motak chuckled. His devotees did the same. "The Cassini is not all that important to me, my dear. The MCR is the crown jewel. You'll understand that in time, if you last long enough." "Can we get a picture of the two of you side by side?" a reporter piped up. The rest confirmed that desire with exaggerated nodding. Motak turned to the crowd, preening for all to see. "Of course you may have a picture," he said, offering his hand to Daring in goodwill. "I'm honoured to be part of this great tradition. The MCR is dear to my heart, and with such brilliant competition, like Hypatia Daring here, this year's race will be one to remember." Hypatia took his hand cautiously. She wrapped her fingers around his broad palm. Forcing herself to relax, she turned towards the reporters to let them take their pictures and ask their questions. But then Motak began to squeeze, and squeeze, and squeeze until she felt the small delicate bones in her hand giving beneath the pressure. She squeezed back against it, but that didn't provide much relief as Motak continued to grip. "Don't cringe," she said to herself. "Don't cry. Don't give him the satisfaction." But the pain spread up her arm, into her shoulder, through her neck. "God, he's trying to break my hand. He released, and the pain subsided. She sighed and wiped a bead of sweat from her forehead with her other hand. Crenshaw was about to ask another question, but then someone spotted Yokondi Remisk, and they all scurried in his direction. At her side, Motak chuckled. "We are only as important to them as our last quote." The Xian turned to her again. This time he didn't offer his hand. He winked. "Athela Col to you, my zealous competitor. Safe travel. I'll see you down the line." Motak disappeared into the doting arms of his fans. As he walked away, Daring caught the eye of a lean, surly-looking fellow who maintained a watchful position behind his employer. He nodded at her. She ignored him and imagined driving a knife into Motak's back. "Don't let him get to you." The voice was soft and amiable. Daring turned to greet it. There he stood, towering over her. In his shadow she felt truly small, both in stature and in status. Zogat Ghoul radiated a kindness and a quiet experience that steadied her rage. She offered her sore hand humbly. He took it without complaint. "Don't let that pompous twit get under your skin. He's infamous for his mind games." With a quick grin, he snapped into formal posture, as if he were greeting an officer, thrusting his chest out, though it was wrapped comfortably in a black and gold half-coat. "My name is Zogat. I know who you are," Daring interrupted, embarrassed immediately by her rudeness. "It's an honour to meet you. It's a dream I've had since I was a kid, and I've been following your career with great interest." He took her by the arm and began to lead her toward a table filled with 3 large punch bowls and an assortment of seafood appetizers. They walked slowly. "You are rising steadily on the circuit. Your name is on the lips of many. Your 5th place showing at Cassini was quite impressive, especially for someone so young. Thank you. It would have been even more impressive had I won, if Motak hadn't forced me back. You let him get too close, he said, with no malice or indictment in his tone. You had the inside lane, but you slowed down to spar with him. He pissed me off. Ghoul stopped. Such behaviour may be tolerated in the smaller, roundabout races like Cassini, but not here. Here, such raw emotion will get you expelled or killed. True, there are stages along the way where the racing will be tight, where you will have to manoeuvre for position, but speed matters the most here. Speed and time. Remember, Hypatia Daring, the one most important fact about the Murray Cup. Speed is life. He tilted his head to the side. Speed is life, or death, if you are going in the wrong direction. She laughed at that, letting the seriousness of his words trickle away. We will speak no more of these things now, he said, resuming their course toward the food table. We will have further opportunities to talk later, when the lamprey are not so thick and hungry. He ignored the wave of a reporter nearby. Every word we speak here is interpreted and reinterpreted until, in the end, they will make us lovers in the eyes of the public. Daring forced a wry smile. Sorry, you're not my type. Ghoul let out a hearty laugh. He shook his head. Story of my life. He quickened his pace towards the food. Now come, and treat me to a glass of the greatest gift humans have bestowed upon the galaxy. What's that? Daring asked. Ghoul smacked his lips. Lemonade. Motak crushed the thin shell of the jumbo shrimp in his mouth. He did not bother shucking it as a feeble human might do. Blast this human food anyway. What he wouldn't give to be back at the family complex, gorging to contentment on huge handfuls of fermented needlefish. Their gallbladders had a bile that was as sweet, no, sweeter, than anything a human might concoct. Nothing on the table before him was actually enjoyable in his superior opinion, but he tolerated it as best he could, smiling humbly as he picked at this dish or that for the benefit of the media. Motak nodded at a human reporter as she walked by. Humans had their uses. And so did the one that stood now in the centre of the media frenzy. Why weren't the reporters surrounding him, asking him questions, begging him to divulge his secrets for winning the race, just as they had asked Daring? These damned humans and their inferiority complex. So unwilling to recognise Xi'an's superiority. But Motak was the best racer that had ever climbed into a cockpit, and his perfectly modified 350R, with its purple hull and reinforced golden striped wings, would do what no other racer had ever done. Win the MCR 3 consecutive times. Neither Remisk, nor Ghoul, nor Daring could claim such a feat. So why weren't the GSN Nya Osun Pu surrounding him? But perhaps that was best, he reconsidered, popping another shrimp in his mouth and sipping on a warm, frothless beer. Let Yokondi Remisk have his moment in the spotlight. Let the media have their favourites. For when they fall, when they fail to live up to the hype, Motak's victory will seem that much sweeter. Yes, let them bask, then let them fall, and I will see that they fall hard. Is everything in place? He whispered to an underling at his side. Yes, sir. Your maintenance crews are dispersed through the Ellis system per your specifications and per the MCR guidelines. Motak scratched his neck in frustration. That's not what I meant. The underling gulped and wiggled his head. Yes, that matter we spoke of has been taken care of as well, but I would recommend against it, sir. The risk is too great, and besides, Motak does not need to rely on such things. He is the best racer on the circuit. I do not pay you to give me such advice or praise. I pay you to do what you're told. Now go, and make sure everything is ready as I have instructed. He put his beer down. And I will go and remind the favourite of his obligation to me. The underling nodded and ran off to do his duty. Motak sighed deeply, put on his happy face, and walked confidently toward the madness surrounding Yokondi Remisk.
You should get yourself some NordVPN. You can go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer or use the links down below. If you want a VPN to help you with accessibility, security, and or privacy on the internet, then NordVPN has got all of that. And it's on a huge discount if you use my links. Oh, click those links. Every month we have a Star Citizenship giveaway. For November, we are giving away the latest in pristine technology, the Grey's Market Shiv, a heavy fighter with a bucket of weaponry, and the first compound ship in game. It is made up of a cutlass and a load of other ships stuck together. It comes with lifetime insurance and a game package, all you need to play Star Citizen. But we're also bundling in a CitizenCon digital goodies pack, just loads of FPS items and stuff that you can put around your hangar and your base eventually. Just comment on any of our videos during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. Also, a big thank you to CIG for providing that prize. If you would like to further support the channel by clicking the join button under our videos and becoming a channel member or becoming a Patreon, then please do. It helps out a ton and enables us to make daily Star Citizen content, even when the YouTube algorithm or revenues are unkind. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click any of the affiliate links under our videos. That helps too. It gives us a little kickback. Share with us your feedback and what you'd like to see. We'll see you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video.